So many ads, I still can't withdraw my earnings.
Because they never intended for you to withdraw. They force you to watch ads so they can make money. If they really wanted you to make money, why would they set so many withdrawal thresholds?
So how do withdrawals work in your game?
Our game doesn't require withdrawals. Every time you play, Cash App will receive a cash reward. Each reward is a fixed $50.
How can you prove that?
If you don't believe it, you can download and open the game to try it out. Our game downloads really fast. Once you enter the game, just perform one action, then check Cash App to see if you have notification of the deposit. Then, confirm if $50 is in your account. It's that simple.
Wow, a $50 reward for just one action, automatically deposited to Cash App.
But be careful. You must download it from the link below my video. Only then will you get the version with the $50 reward. Hurry and click the link below the video to download and start earning.
Why is it that with the money-making game I'm playing, after watching so many ads, I still can't withdraw my earnings?
Because they never intended for you to withdraw. They force you to watch ads so they can make money. If they really wanted you to make money, why would they set so many withdrawal thresholds?
So how do withdrawals work in your game?
Our game doesn't require withdrawals. Every time you play, Cash App will receive a cash reward. Each reward is a fixed $50.
How can you prove that?
If you don't believe it, you can download and open the game to try it out. Our game downloads really fast. Once you enter the game, just perform one action, then check Cash App to see if you have notification of the deposit. Then, confirm if $50 is in your account. It's that simple.
Wow, a $50 reward for just one action, automatically deposited to Cash App.
But be careful. You must download it from the link below my video. Only then will you get the version with the $50 reward. Hurry and click the link below the video to download and start earning.
Asked furiously, unable to hold back his anger anymore. The academy selection was a process where those wishing to join an academy were selected after undergoing certain
and tell you what to improve upon. There's 3 types of meal logging. Simply scan the barcode, manually log your food, or you can simply take a picture. You're like, how can AI tell how I cook the food, or what percent lean the beef is? And then you tell it in the text prompt. You can even compete against your friends in challenges. You haven't worked out in 2 days, and this is why I'm beating you in the challenge. Click the link to download now.
Esta es la señal que esperabas. Prueba Remitly hoy y disfruta de tus 3 primeros envíos sin cargos. Es fácil, rápido y confiable. Millones en todo el mundo confían en Remitly. Prueba Remitly hoy. Envía ahora. Oferta válida hasta el 22 de septiembre.
At my gym AI, we don't f around. A body scan that tells you your body fat levels and measurements, live form analysis, got that. Or you can upload a video of yourself and it'll score your form and tell you what to improve upon. There's 3 types of meal logging. Simply scan the barcode, manually log your food, or you can simply take a picture. You're like, how can AI tell how I cook the food, or what percent lean the beef is? And then you tell it in the text prompt. You can even compete against your friends in challenges. You haven't worked out in 2 days, and this is why I'm beating you in the challenge. Click the link to download now.
Esta es la señal que esperabas. Prueba Remitly hoy y disfruta de tus 3 primeros envíos sin cargos. Es fácil, rápido y confiable. Millones en todo el mundo confían en Remitly. Prueba Remitly hoy. Envía ahora. Oferta válida hasta el 22 de septiembre.
At my gym AI, we don't f around. A body scan that tells you your body fat levels and measurements, live form analysis, got that. Or you can upload a video of yourself and it'll score your form and tell you what to improve upon. There's 3 types of meal logging. Simply scan the barcode, manually log your food, or you can simply take a picture. You're like, how can AI tell how I cook the food, or what percent lean the beef is? And then you tell it in the text prompt. You can even compete against your friends in challenges. You haven't worked out in 2 days, and this is why I'm beating you in the challenge. Click the link to download now.
Which of course included sparring with a student of the academy.
Due to Quinn's multiple experiences with confrontation and clashes against deadly beasts and creatures, he was pretty good at reading someone's following actions and intentions. However, when he saw the woman walking over to the crowd of people, he had no notion that she would latch onto him, which was why he found himself speechless. For a second, Quinn looked down at her face, wondering if he knew her from somewhere, but he couldn't recall ever meeting anyone like her. "Ha ha ha, what is this?" the giant fish man hollered. "You act all tough, and then you run behind a man? Can't you protect yourself on this ship?" Turning around, the man walked forward and naturally, with his large body, pushed one of the staff to the side, nearly making him fall off balance. But before he fell, Nog was there with the palm of his hand to push him back to his feet. "Thank you, boss. I'm so sorry for everything that is happening." The staff member lowered his head with apparent fear in his eyes. "It's okay. Troubles as such are an everyday occurrence, which is why we are here to solve them. It's a good thing I'm here, though. The mermarial race is quite a tough one to deal with. You might not be enough on your own," Nog replied with a straight face. The giant fish man soon stood before Quinn and was now roughly a yard away from him. The two said nothing, as Quinn was a bit speechless and felt trapped in this situation. Finally, he turned the sill, only to find him standing amongst the crowd, secretly giving him a thumbs up. "I don't know if I should be glad that he doesn't interfere or be upset because he left me in this mess," Quinn thought, shaking his head. "My handsome husband can end you in one blow. If you want to try fighting him, be my guest." The woman pulled Quinn's arm closer to her enormous breasts. She then raised her head, only to find Quinn's expressionless face staring down at her. Contrary to her expectations, he wasn't flushed. In he stop him from attacking? Quinn threw his fist towards the tongue while controlling his power not to send the fishman blasting through the ship's walls. However, midway, he noticed that there was some intervention. Nog, with his arm, had knocked away the large tongue, hitting it in the air, and as for Quinn's attack, he had lifted his arm to block it. The fist had hit, but Nog hadn't moved from his place. However, he found himself gritting his teeth as his arm shook slightly. By this time, Quinn had quickly put his fist away. Oh, this guy can withstand that? I guess the staff is pretty strong after all, although I held back a lot of my strength, Quinn thought. He knew his raw strength alone was enough to defeat most people. The staff are to protect everyone on board this ship, Nog shouted. Mr. Tom, you will now be put on watch during your stay here, and if you are seen trying to harm any of the other guests, then we will have no choice but to deal with you. The fishman looked annoyed as he sucked his tongue back into his mouth, but he knew he could not go against this man, so he decided to just walk off in the end. I'm sorry that this occurred on your first day here. Nog bowed towards Quinn and added, Unfortunately, I must go and report this matter. I will return soon, and if you need me, you know where to find me. With that, Nog took his leave, and so did most of the crowd, but Quinn still had a certain someone who was clinging onto his arm. Thank you so much for helping me back there, the woman said, still holding on. I know the two of us are strangers, but if I could reward you in any way... It's okay, Quinn said, gently removing her arm from his. I'm afraid due to your beauty, if I were to hang around with you, I would only bring myself more trouble. With those words, Quinn walked away and met up with Syl. Without waiting for their order, the two took their leave to discuss what to do next, while the girl couldn't help but stare at his back in a stupor. Sis, are you interested in him? Another young blue-haired girl asked, with a few shiny blue scales on her face. I thought you said you only liked strong guys. He didn't look so strong. He couldn't even beat a fishman. I think that spiked draconic guy is better. Although it was all true, carefully watching the man act made her wonder holding back. The question was, how much? The front of the ship was quite a distance away from where Nog was before, but there was a reason why he had to quickly travel through the multiple doors to head this way, and it was because he was heading to the command center to meet a certain individual. Standing there, looking out into the space, was a man in a bright white outfit and donning a captain's hat. He was tall, around 8 feet in height, and had a similar single horn sticking out from his head like Nog. So, how are our two new guests then? The captain asked. They had been getting on well, and as you expected, their intention didn't seem to be originally joining the cruise, Nog reported. Which means the two of them must be after something else. The captain licked his lips. I trust you, Nog, and you have done a good job. We have to be extra careful this time. The captain glanced behind him and noticed Nog holding onto his forearm. Looks like you got hurt. It is a rarity. Someone made a mess? Well, this was actually from one of the new ones. But it wasn't them who started the confrontation, but I stepped in to stop the attack. One thing is for sure, our two new guests are strong, so I understand why you are suspicious, Nog replied. On top of that, they seem more wealthy than I initially expected. One can even do some magic to access his crystals. He handed me the demigod crystal just to talk about nothing, Nog explained. I suspect they have more as well. Based on the strength of the other, I can only assume that the black-haired man is a type of bodyguard for the blonde one. Finally, the captain turned around, and a smile appeared on his face. We lack crystals for this trip, so we must get as much as we can, and the solution is in front of us. Go split the two up and get the crystals from the weak blonde guy. I trust that you know what to do, the captain ordered. After the strange confrontation, Quinn and Syl had gone to relax at the bar. If there was one thing that seemed to be plenty off no matter where they went, it was alcohol. Syl had ordered a type of whiskey. Its smell was so potent to Quinn, it felt like he could taste it in his mouth without needing to take a sip. As for Quinn himself, he was struggling to decide what he wanted, since he couldn't seem to see any blood. Can I have that? Quinn said, pointing to a square bottle that had a large X on the front. Although Quinn had no clue what it was, he had seen the shape of the bottle before. Lifting the glass up, he took a sniff. It still smelled a bit too strong for him, but closing his eyes and holding his nose, he took it down in one complete gulp. From the look on his face, one could tell that Quinn didn't enjoy the drink, not one bit. It's so strange. I mean, it's been 1,000 It had upset his stomach somewhat and burned his throat. He remembered that alcohol was a strange substance, something that vampires could still enjoy the taste of, especially if they had enjoyed the drink as a human. It would taste the same as a vampire. A particular person used to drink this drink. I thought I would give it a shot. I'm surprised to see it in a place like this. They really do have something for everyone, and something from everywhere, Quinn commented. It had been a long time, but judging by the tone of Quinn's voice, Sil knew that he was most likely only talking about one of three people. Richard Eno, Vincent Eno, or Arthur. You still get upset about it. You know, I might understand, Sil said, taking another gulp. I mean, remember, I had a father that made me fight against my own siblings, and then tried to kill me for some reason. So, I understand that I have an asshole father. Sorry, I mean asshole father figure. Hearing this, Quinn didn't reply, and instead ordered another glass, and he had done the same again, knocking it back in one gulp. He had yet to feel any effect, but it was perhaps due to him drinking them a bit too fast. That's when he went to order a third one, but a hand reached out and grabbed him. Hey, stop. I know a lot has happened, and it's not all good news, and we're in the middle of nowhere, but I don't want to see you drunk. I've never seen you drunk in my life. Although I think after 1,000 years it might be entertaining, but with your powers, it could be a frightening thing. The words for his best friend helped him settle himself a bit, but to be honest, he was somewhat just trying to understand why people liked alcohol so much. He never got to experience those days of parties and such. A whole life had been missed out, and if he was to get drunk, he should at least experience it once. The thing was, after around 10 minutes, Quinn was starting to feel it going into his head. I thought because of the healing factor of vampires, they couldn't really get drunk. What is happening to me? His face was feeling hot, and his head started to move about a bit, as if it was hard to keep it still. Are you serious? Sil asked. How would anyone believe that you're some type of god when you can't even hold your drink? Look, you just stay here and drink some water. You don't have to worry about anything. You've had too much on your shoulders for a long time. When that Nog returns, ask if you can meet the captain and ask him about Earth. There's no rush. With that, Sil left his friend at the counter of the bar. Honestly, Sil didn't feel he would have to worry. Quinn was a gentle soul, a harmless person in the first place. And if someone did start something on him, if he wanted to, he could probably take the whole ship down. As for me, I'm going to find that Dalkey and find out what he knows and why he's here, Sil thought, as he went to the last place the Dalkey was seen. What he didn't know was Nog had long since returned, but had yet to approach or be seen by the others. This is great. I was thinking of a way of splitting the two of them, but they have done so themselves. Let's see. We need to figure out where he stores the crystals, so we can't be too rough on him, Nog thought. While thinking about it, there was an upset look on his face, but he soon shook his head. We need those crystals. Sil had quickly gone up to the second floor. He didn't use any of his abilities, as he didn't wish to startle anyone, but there were some abilities he could use that didn't require others to see. For one, there was X-ray vision. The second floor was hotter than the first, and on one half of the ship, everything was made of a type of rocky terrain. It was a strange area. There were just people lying on the ground, or on the rock-made sunbeds taking in the heat. Still, it didn't take him long with his X-ray vision to spot where the Dalkey was. There was a giant curved rock in the large open space, which was strange to see on a ship. It looked like half of a moon was sticking out. Reaching the other side, Sil approached the Dalkey, who looked relaxed and lying on his back with both arms behind his head. Now getting a better look at it compared to before, it was without a doubt a Dalkey. Can I help you? The Dalkey asked. Sil was wondering how to approach this. He had been wondering for a while what to say his whole walk here. Do you recognize my type, my kind? Do you know about Earth? Sil asked. The Dalkey had somewhat of a reaction. He opened one of his eyes wide and looked at the person in front of him, stared him up and down before eventually giving an answer. I have heard the name, but I don't really know anything about it, the Dalkey replied. For sure, Sil thought that the Dalkey had to be lying. There wouldn't be a single one that didn't know about Earth. They were the enemy, the place where they were trying to fight and take over. That can't be. You're a Dalkey. How are you still alive? Sil asked. Now the Dalkey was really interested, as he was no longer lying down, and had lifted his upper body up. Suddenly, the Dalkey's eyes widened. Move, the Dalkey yelled. What? I said move, the Dalkey shouted, and both of its eyes lit up. Sil did as the Dalkey said, moving out of the way. and red lasers came out of the Dowkey's eyes. It had hit what looked like a person that was dressed in all black light armor. He was sent flying away and started to skid across the floor. He used his tools to defuse the energy and looked to be okay. The next second, 4 more of the same black figures appeared by the person's side. What the? Did that Dowkey just save me? Syl thought. And what was that crap coming out of his eyes? Don't tell me. Syl had recognized this power before. He had seen it used many times, which made him think, does this Dowkey have an ability? A real ability?
Dear listener, the upcoming episode will be today's last free episode of this story. Come back tomorrow to enjoy free episodes, or get coins now to continue listening.
It was a strange feeling for Quinn, and he didn't know how to get rid of it. His head was pressed against the cold surface of the marble-like bar, but it seemed like the more he kept his head still, the more it would spin. Still, his ears were working well, perhaps too well, as the echoed sound of high heels against the floor was resounding in his head. Please, could someone just turn that off? Quinn mumbled. For some reason, since there was already a third drink in front of him, and because he didn't want to waste it, he had gulped that down as well, which only made his situation go from bad to worse. Oh, I thought you would be more of a gentleman. I didn't realize you were so rude, the voice said. From the corner of his eye, Quinn could see the shiny, light red hair he had seen before. It was the female that had latched onto him and almost gotten him eaten by that giant fish. I would have stepped in if he tried to eat you, the voice said. Huh? Can you read my thoughts? Quinn said, lifting his head, and his eyes were a little bloodshot. The alcohol was extremely strong, and for someone like Quinn who had never had it before, it was affecting him more than it would have done others. He was wondering why his resistance to substances and poisons like this wasn't working at all. Then again, the creator of the system wasn't the most ethical person. Don't be silly, the girl laughed. You were speaking out loud. It looks to me like someone can't handle his drink. Why don't I look after you for the day? As a thank you for helping me out from before. The name is Wince. Quinn replied back, putting his arm out but missing slightly, so the two just didn't end up shaking hands. You know, speaking about earlier, I picked you because I thought you could win, you know. Wince explained as she ordered a bright light blue drink in a champagne glass filled with bubbles. You had this look in your eyes, while everyone else was afraid of what could happen, or was going to happen. You just stood there like it was no big deal. You must be strong, right? I was just wondering how strong you are. When asking this question, Wince grabbed both hands of Quinn and held them together, and she started to slowly move up one arm, massaging it gently as she asked. Me? Quinn said, slurred. I am very strong. I've saved my planet before, and now I need to do it again. Wince didn't know what to make of Quinn's answer. It was clear he was a bit more open and loose-lipped due to the drinks, but saving a planet could just mean she was speaking to a soldier. How about beasts? Have you defeated beasts before? Wince asked, probing a bit further. Beasts. Lots of beasts. Crabs, trees, some demon tears here and there. Like I said, I'm quite strong, Quinn admitted, not shying away from the truth and somewhat bragging. He was proud of his achievements, but there was never anyone for him to really share them with. In the state he was in, he was saying what was on his mind. Demon tears, huh? Is this guy just trying to brag to impress me? He's just telling me lies, Wince thought. I thought since he wasn't swayed by my looks, he wouldn't lie to me like that. But maybe he beat them with a group or something. There is still hope. Standing up, Wince moved her seat closer to Quinn and ordered 2 more drinks. She pushed over the strange blue liquid to Quinn, who looked at it for a second. It should help you with your headache, Wince said. Taking a sip of the drink, it was a lot sweeter compared to the whiskey he was drinking before, and he had consumed it on the spot. The only thing was, Wince had lied. It made his headache and stomach worse because there was indeed alcohol inside. Maybe you can tell me more about yourself. You said you saved your planet, so what are you? What type of powers do you have? Wince asked. What am I? Quinn replied. I guess the easiest way to explain it, at the moment, I'm a god. Hearing this answer, Wince wanted to slap her own cheek for believing that this guy must have been something. Her blue-haired sister, sitting alone at the other table, couldn't help but laugh at what was happening. She never believed that this man was anything at all. Pull them out of the position they were inside right now. You don't believe me, do you? Quinn asked.
I never wanted to be a god, but I received the title Ruler of Blood.